I've got you clear as the sands of summer, Bryn.
No interference from the Enclave?
None. The connection is much stronger than outside the Vale.
That's reassuring.
That's the edge of how far I can push the scry. It'd be like in the Vale's shadow all over again. That's as far as I can push the scry.
And they're clearly happy we're here.
Arcs were supposed to be used for manual labor. Hostility is strange.
Fresh water, in walking distance of the campsite.
I'll set up a purifier for it and collect later.
Hydra's Brook, aptly named for the spirit of water that flows.
Wait. What a beautiful view.
Creatures could be hunted for food. Any of these plants look edible?
Dan will put anything in his mouth if he's curious enough. Whatever he doesn't vomit, we'll eat.
Just try not to poison him.
This must be Hydra's lake.
Lakes are still. Why name it after the spirit of flowing water? This must be the second loom gate.
What's covering the base?
I'll check it out. A lot of debris on the platform. I could clear it with kinetic magic.
What about the loom gate itself? Is it functional?
No sign of life, but see that cloud of raw magic? It's leaking from the broken pipe near the edge of the platform.
So we have two powerless loom gates and a tangle leaking out of an enclave construction. I wonder if Lane still has that treatise we picked up in Taza.
And he's gone.
With the debris gone, this loom gate doesn't appear to be in poor shape at all. Time to check out the Great Arc.
I was right. It is an ark. A great one.
It isn't moving. I'll get a closer look.
An ark of the stricken earth, I would guess. Any chance you could bring a piece of it back to camp?
Doubt my sword is strong enough.
Then there's not much we can do with this for now. Dom seems to have an idea about the loom gate, at least. Two enclave constructs. Neither of them functional. Good news. Lane found a shortcut back to our camp for you, and we've got the Wisp working.
The Wisp?
Watcher's Wisp. Channel a little magic into your earpiece. I'll redirect it to guide you from the scry to the shortcut.
I see the path.
Good. That should take you to the shortcut.
That should be it. According to my map, it's a man-made tunnel that grants easy access to the way station.
Bryn's back. Let's fill her in.
We believe we found a way to activate the Loom Gate in our camp and in Glintwood Hollow.
Skies, what are we waiting for? I want to be the first one to travel through a gate.
It will be a defining moment of your career.
So, how do we repair a loom gate?
What made the Enclave remarkable was not merely their constructs, but their ability to power them. It has long been rumored that beneath our very feet exists an extensive magical network known as the Tapestry. The pipe you found in Glintwood Hollow is proof of its existence. It must be a conduit that directs raw magic to the loom gates as a source of power.
And the tangle that formed around it was a leak.
Precisely. Our theory is that patching the rupture will restore power to the gate.
Thankfully, Seven Lane have a plan for that.
We don't know a lot about arcs, but I dug up some old stories from logs that we inherited from a weaver band that broke apart. In notes dated before the Surge, this band managed to get one of the enchanters who worked on the arcs riotously drunk and talking.
Apparently, the arcs have a thin carapace between their skin and their armor plates that's nigh immune to magic, and can be separated in segments. A magically resistant material like that would be perfect to seal a rupture in the tapestry.
So I need to cleave this carapace off the arc. There's no way my sword is strong enough.
Come see me and we can make some improvements to Sola's forge. Which, in turn, means...
I could hone your sword so we can cleave the carapace, no problem.
We'll talk.
Great foresight in removing the debris from the Loom Gate's platform. We've got a clear workspace once the patch is forged.
Happy to be one step ahead.
Everyone's got a part to play in this. Let's get to work.
Hey. I know we need to fix up the forge, but before we do, I'd like to talk to you about something.
Sure. What's up?
I owe you an apology.
What for?
I've been a little cold since you've arrived, and I should have been more welcoming. I was just under a lot of stress with everything that happened.
You mean when we ran for our lives from a death cloud into a lost land?
Yeah, that. And losing supplies, and Aurea getting injured, and then having a point takeover who...
Lacks experience.
At the time, that's what it seemed like. But ever since we arrived, you've been more than proving yourself. You made finding food and water a top priority. That's when I realized our Weaver band is in good hands. I underestimated you when I shouldn't have, and frankly, I was a jerk about it.
It's okay, Cass.
No, it's not. I really am sorry. I hope we can have a better relationship moving forward.
Thanks. That means a lot. Let's just start fresh, okay?
I'd love that.
How are you feeling now that we're starting to get settled?
If this is settled, I'd hate to see us scrambling. I have a hard time letting my guard down when there are so many unknowns. We're still missing supplies, and our campsite isn't half what it should be. Can't see myself relaxing and smelling the roses anytime soon.
The role of point seemed really serious to you. Can I ask why that is?
Because it is serious. If you screw up, we all die.
That seems extreme.
Think of it this way. Let's say we're low on food in the desert. If you scout 3 leagues in the wrong direction, we're all 3 leagues further away from food we need to survive.
Right. I guess I see what you mean. Still sounds like an extenuating circumstance, though.
And being the first to enter the Enclave in almost half a century isn't an extenuating circumstance.
Point taken, I suppose. You know, when talking to Lane, they mentioned that you actually trained to become Point yourself. I was wondering if that had something to do with why we weren't getting along.
Oh, no. Being Point just wasn't for me. That's all.
So, I know Sola mentioned improvements to her forge meant being able to hone my sword. What does that entail exactly?
Unfortunately, the missing supplies I mentioned.
Is there a way I can help you restock?
Right now, we reserve the materials you bring back for your armors and weapons, because that's the priority. But if there's anything you can spare, I can repurpose them into supplies for our campsite.
Sounds simple enough.
Glad to hear it.
So, how often do I need to return to camp? Do you need me to report back frequently?
That's entirely up to you. Point's privilege. You're the one taking the risks, so you can gauge how far and how long you can push. From time to time, I or the folks around the camp might have requests, but we'll defer to your priorities. And if you get into trouble, I'll pull you to safety. Might lose some resources, but that's a small price to pay.
Got it. A lot of responsibility.
Point's privilege.